Welcome back to the Git and GitHub Beginner's Guide, Lesson 2. If Lesson 1 was all about writing, about making changes, today we flip the script entirely. This lesson is about reading. 3 commands, 3 questions. Status tells you what's the state. Diff tells you what changed exactly, and log tells you what happened before. These are the tools you'll reach for 50 times a day for the rest of your career. So here's what you'll walk away with. 4 concrete skills. First, reading Git status fluently. Branch info, ahead or behind. What's untracked, modified, or staged. Your 30-second daily orientation. Then Git diff, which actually answers 2 different questions depending on how you run it. Git log to walk through history, filtered any way you need. And finally, Git show, your time machine for inspecting any commit by hash. 4 tools, used constantly, for the rest of your career. Here's the mental model that ties it all together. Remember the 3 areas from Lesson 1, working directory, staging, and repo? Each reader maps to them differently. Status sees all 3 at once, which is why it's your daily dashboard. Diff compares 2 areas, by default working dir versus staged, or with staged versus your last commit. And log lives entirely in the repo, walking the history of what's already committed. State, change, history, 3 questions, 3 tools. Let's start with status, since it's the one you'll run dozens of times a day. The output looks busy at first, but it's actually 4 predictable blocks. Up top, branch info, where you are and how you compare to the remote. Then 3 grouped sections. What's already staged and ready to commit, what you've changed but not staged yet, and brand new files Git hasn't started tracking. Once you see the pattern, you'll parse this in about 2 seconds, just like a senior would. Now diff, and here's the trap that catches every junior. Plain Git diff and Git diff at staged sound similar, but they're answering 2 completely different questions. Plain diff compares your working directory to staging. Basically, what have you changed but not yet added? Add the iStaged flag, and you're now comparing staging to your last commit. What's lined up and ready to ship? Same command, different layer of the pipeline. Match the flag to the question you're actually asking. And once you actually run diff, the output looks intimidating. But it's only 4 symbols. Plus means a line was added, minus means it was removed, a space means it's unchanged context, and the @ sign tells you where in the file you are. That's it. Every pull request you'll ever review on GitHub, GitLab, anywhere, uses this exact format. Learn these 4 marks and diff stop being noise. That brings us to the 3rd question. What happened? And Git log is how you answer it. Think of it as a search engine for your repo's history. Plain Git log dumps everything, which is rarely what you want, so you reach for flags. 8 recipes cover almost everything you'll do day to day. Oneline for a compact view, -10 to cap the output, graph all to see branches visually. Filter by author, by time, by file. And the 2 power moves. -S to find commits that added or removed a specific string, and stat to see which files changed and by how much. Once Git log hands you a hash, Git show is how you read it. Point it at any commit, and you get the full story. Author, date, message, and the complete diff in one view. This is your detective tool. When something breaks, or a weird line shows up, you log to find the suspect commit, then show to interrogate it. That pairing becomes muscle memory fast. So here's everything from this lesson on 1 page. 12 patterns built around 3 commands answering 3 questions. Don't try to memorize this. Pin it somewhere, glance at it when you need it, and within a couple of weeks you'll find your fingers typing these without thinking. That's the real goal. Daily fluency, not flashcard recall. Now before we wrap up, let's talk about the traps. These are 5 reading mistakes I see beginners make constantly. Plain Git diff goes blank after you stage. That's not a bug. You just need the stage flag. Git log without oneline or n will drown your terminal. Skim Git status too fast and you'll commit the wrong files. Learn head 1, head 2, head 3 to skip typing hashes. And remember, every commit is a full snapshot of your repo, not just a message attached to changes. All right, theory is cheap. Time to actually read your own repo. 3 exercises, 1 for each command. First, the status workout. Modify a file, stage half, add a new file, and watch how status reports each state. Second, the 2 diffs. See for yourself how the output flips between working directory and staged area. Third, detective work. Pick a commit from your log, inspect it with show, then hunt down one of your own commits by author. Do all 3 today. That's how this becomes muscle memory. And that's lesson 2 in the bag. You can now read Git fluently. Status tells you the state, diff shows what changed, log and show reveal what happened, and headin' lets you walk back through history. Next up, branches. Because once you've mastered reading a single line of work, it's time to run several in parallel. And honestly, that's where Git stops being a save button and starts being a superpower. See you in lesson 3.